Welcome back. It's been a while, and I forgot to do it again. I start working on my car, and I start forgetting that, hey, I need to record. Someone might want to see this, or someone, wants to follow along in the build. And I keep telling Brandon, I was like, we really need to do more with Drift Militia in the filming process because we do so much, but we always forget to hit film. And this is like one of the, I wouldn't say quick video, but it's just the whole me working on the car, talking about drift cars and stuff like that. So if you want to follow along, you can. It's great. If you don't, it is what it is. But kind of talking over this community car because on the podcast we talked about we're going to talk about it, and then of course I get carried away with life and school, and then I forget to make videos. And I sit down there and I'm like, man, what if someone actually wanted to follow along, and I missed the opportunity to give them a rhyme, a reason, a walkthrough of this video, why I'm doing it, or this car. So trying to get a little better at doing all this. Now, this may get a little loud for a second. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Tighten this bolt. Cool. But we're working on the drift car today. Now, this is a build that I've been, putting off a lot, I guess. I don't know why. I get carried away with my other cars and I have to choose, do I want to make a video today? Do I want to go drifting? I feel like a lot of people understand that. But I don't want to give up on this build. And I know the more that I work, the more that I grind, the more I have motivation, the more I'm going to get this car done versus putting it off for something else, right? Which is a downfall of a lot of us. We get carried away with life and we don't do it. So why am I doing this build? I feel like I don't talk about this enough, but when you get older, at least for me, this could be different for a lot of people. And hold on, it's gonna get loud again. And I'm sure this is different for a lot of people, but I lose that feeling. You build a drift car and the first startup, you're like, this is great, this is super fun. But then you build your next drift car, and then you build your next drift car, and then you build your next drift car, and then you build a street car, and then you build a drag car, and then you build all these cars, and you lose that that first start excitement. You lose that I'm building this car excitement. It's just becomes redundant, like a job, Not saying I don't enjoy cars. I really do enjoy building cars. But at the same time, I enjoy watching other people be able to get in a car and enjoy it and have fun, especially if they don't have that opportunity. And that's really what I'm looking to provide with people. I've always want to provide an opportunity for someone to enjoy something that, not saying they couldn't, but also a different experience, something that maybe they've been struggling with, like different transitions, or maybe their car's not set up right, and it's easier for me to, be like, hey, get in this car and tell me how this feels, or this and this. And really just give back to people that support us. I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, which I have, but it's rad whenever people support you. People follow your build, people want to buy cars off you, people want to be a part of what you're a part of. In Drift Militia, we've made a big push. We used to teach the drift schools, and that was fun for me. And then it got to a point where it just didn't really make sense because Brandon would be here and then I'd have to drive here, and we were just driving so much, it just didn't make sense. But now that I'm having a lot more free time, school's coming up, Brandon's getting more free time with the shop, I'm trying to figure out new ways to support those people that either A, want to get in the scene, B, they're in the scene and something's going wrong, or they couldn't make it out to the track, or C, they've been a homie and they've supported us. And like I said, I've lost that enjoyment every time I build a car. Not totally, but the excitement. The enjoyment's still there, but the excitement. So I said, you know what, let's just build a car for the community. And this is really weird because I don't think people understand how it works, and that's partly my fault because I'm not out here, really walking through people what I'm doing, and people are kind of confused. And it is kind of confusing because, when you say community car, what do you mean by that, right? And I've talked to Brandon about this a bunch because obviously I don't have an unlimited amount of money. I'm not rich by any means, but I want to make an experience memorable for people, that do support us. And that's a really big part because, you've been in the scene forever and people support you. People want to be a part of your story. They want to watch your cars. They want to watch your builds. But at the same time, how do you help those people support you? Not that you need to, right? You don't have to, but it's just, that's how I look at it. I was like, I really want to be able to support those that support me, right? I've always said that with all the sponsors that we've had, with all the builds that we've done. I've always focused on that ideology is you always support those that support you. This gasket is so bent on this car, so if I'm walking away from the frame, it's probably because I'm trying to line up this gasket. But the idea with this car behind it is exactly that. I want people from the community that have supported us, and I say community, and it's such a big community in drifting, but I'm really specifying the community of Drift Militia, right? Of who we are, you know. There's a lot of times, I mean, we've been in the scene for a long time that we've helped people out. You know, we've watched people struggle because their cars, you know, they're really good drivers, but their car has never been able to make it to track, or they've had unnecessary motor failure after failure after failure, because that stuff, I mean, this is drifting. That stuff happens all the time, and it sucks seeing people go through that, especially, you know, when they put in all the effort and hours and stuff like that. Oh, I can't get this bolt to line up. Sorry, I'm focusing as much as I can. Go in. Ah! It's not lining up. What's the chances? Oh, there it goes. There she goes. But yeah, so my thing is I see so many, I've been in drifting for like 10 plus years, which is really rad, and I'm really thankful that I've been able to be in it. But at the same time, I've seen the downfalls of drifting. I've seen the downfalls of someone that puts, you know, oh, I just painted this big, but puts not even the money aspect, because it's really not about the money, but I see them put hours and hours and hours in their build, and then they just, you know, life hits them and hits them hard, because we're all adults and that happens, right? But then they get to miss out on an event, and they miss out another event, and they miss out another event, and then little do you know, they don't tandem with you anymore. They can't drive with you anymore. Life got in the way. So the short time that they're in the scene, I want to make sure they have a good time. I want to make sure they get to drive. I want to make sure they get to do all this stuff. And especially if they support us and they're the homies, because like I said, drifting's short-lived. People build a car and they get out. I mean, I can tell you, the people that I started drifting with in 2011, they're not here anymore. I mean, some of them are, but they're not really tandeming with me like they did back in the day. And it's understandable. You know, we all grow up and we have kids and we find different hobbies that we can afford and we can do. And I hate, you know, the idea of what if I just built a car so they could do it. You know, Brandon and I have talked about this a bunch, because there's been some events that I can't go to because I have life and I have bills and stuff like that. And Brandon's like, hey, I'll front you the money, and then whenever you get done, pay me back. And it's worked. And we've done it for a while now. US Air was one of them. He was like, dude, you really can't miss this. And at the time, I was like, no, I mean, if I don't know what it's like, I'll miss it. And it'll be fun. Oh. And then I go to the event and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't miss it. So that's kind of the same idea I have with this car, is provide an opportunity for, you know, friends, people that want to get in the scene, sim drivers. I'm focusing right now, hold on. Why is that bolt so long? It works. I'm still missing all the big bolts, but yeah, provide an opportunity where, you know, people that support us can have a time to go out and track. You know, sim is something that I've really started learning recently, and it's super rad because when we taught the drift school, we had a lot of people come from sim and jump in on the track and be like, hey, do this and this and this, and they're out there just first time out there linking the track. So that's something I really want to do. I want to host like an online competition, you know, have a little fun time, not make it super competitive, because competitive on a lot of things ruins it. I don't want to ruin something like this. I think this is a great opportunity. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build something. We're gonna make Drift Militia something more than just a drift team. You know, we've been bashed in the past saying, you know, oh, well, you can't be a team, you're just tandem buddies if you have 2 people. But what we do is bigger than drifting. It's bringing people together. You know, it's putting on a show. It's spreading knowledge, hanging out. There's so much more. So I feel like this car is a great opportunity to bring so much more to the community, to Drift Militia, to people that, you know, are down on their luck. They just want to go out there and drive. And hey, Brandon and I have talked about Final Bout for years. And now we're getting to a point where Brandon's built all these cars and I'm starting to build more cars, that it doesn't seem so far-fetched to make Final Bout something like that happen. Now they're right? When they say we're 2 is just tandem buddies, we're not a team, we gotta have a 3rd. But if I build a car, example A, that drives well enough that someone can get in the car and it looks good enough, you know, Drift Militia style, it's still gonna be a missile car. It might not be perfect, but it'll be pretty. And they can drive well enough and we can go out there and compete as a team, because I'm really a team-oriented person, then we can make some things happen. And I'm building it, and maybe someone jumps in the car and they drive really good and we go out to Final Bout, and then we can convert people from sim drivers to real life. We can help them with their builds. You know, we can grow the community. This is what this is about. This is what I'm talking about. I don't get that super excited when I build cars, but the ideology of being able to help the community, help people get back on track, you know, allow people to jump in without making a super deep investment. I mean, I'm gonna be invested in this car a lot. Good thing it's at 240. If it doesn't work out, I can just sell it in the long run. It's not a big deal, but at least I push for that opportunity to help. It's gonna be super rad. We've driven across the United States a bunch of times, tandem with people from different states, and if we can get to the point where our friends are coming in from different states and tandeming with us in a car that we have, I think that's be pretty rad. It's gonna be offering, you know, friends something that not a lot of people get the opportunity to do. Just to jump in a car from a different state, you know, don't have to worry about car prep. We've got the car prepped and everything. So I don't know, there's a lot of different opportunities and avenues I can go with this car, but the main goal behind this car is to reach out to the community and be able to help someone or convert someone or just get homies in the car and drive. If their car is broke, guess what? Jump in my car. Hey, my missile car is broke. I'll jump in this car. So it's a cool thing. It's cool. I'm building an S chassis. It's what I built back in the day forever. I'm building another one right now. I've always came from S chassis. I specialize in VQs, and I don't know, 4 years ago, and I've been doing them ever since. Never had a problem with a VQ. I love VQs. They're really rowdy. They don't sound great, but it is what it is. It's a cool opportunity for someone to jump in a car and come party with us. So like I said, this is probably not a quick video because I rambled on, but if this is something you guys want to see more of and you guys want to come party with us on track, you follow along. You know, you support us any way we can support you. And we're not asking to buy merch. We do have merch if you're interested in a shirt or something like that, but it's not like, you don't have to do that. Just come hang out, comment on our stuff, be a part of the homies. I mean, look at Julian. Julian didn't know us, came to Media at the Togue event, and then just started hanging out with us more and more and more. And then he went from, I want to do a drift car, to no, you're going to drift at the end of the year. We're going to make this happen. Did a manual swap, put an angle kit on there, put a welded diff in there. He's out there. He just hit up whatever the last event was, and it was Cam Akers, and I think he's going to the Tulsa event next. So it's super rad, you know, being able to put people in these opportunities. But I'm going to stop rambling so I can get to work, put fluids in this car, and push a little bit harder. But thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed it.